Hello everybody and welcome to the part of this channel where I have no idea what I'm doing, but I felt like doing it anyway and it's fun. So I kind of made the impulsive decision to make this today because why not? I think you guys would have probably, if you have been in the Brony community or even in the art community, you've probably seen a lot of interpretations of the main six from My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, like Fluttershy most commonly, I think, from a lot of different artists. And I was like, why don't I do it? Because I've been meaning to for a long time, and I had a lot of fun doing it today. And especially after waking up to Dan and Phil's new video, and I just feel like really happy for them. I think younger me is genuinely just, oh my gosh, this is so surreal. I don't know how else to describe it. There's so much that I didn't think would be what it is now, and at the same time I'm really grateful for it. So today I just wanted to do Rainbow Dash and Twilight. I might do the rest, I might not, because again, this was during warm-up and this is before I do my work and I get into like doing commissions or thesis or whatever, doing anything. I generally do warm-ups to just like loosen my hand up, and then I kind of got carried away, and this is what this video is, because I just feel like rambling a little bit. And as much as I ramble and woo-woo, it's mainly more formatted in terms of being something where I stay on a specific topic. This is very much about talking about something that really impacted me as a creative growing up, and one of those things happened to be My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, that series, and even the later G3. And I just remember coming across it and literally falling in love with it. And I was just thinking about it today as I was doing these, and you can probably see Rainbow Dash at the moment because she's the first one that I did. I really loved these characters, this show, these stories, and I just wanted to say thank you to every single person who worked on it. I wanted to say thank you to the fandom, which definitely gets a bad rap, well deserved in a lot of cases for sure, but there is such a massive part of the fandom that goes unacknowledged. I don't know if people realize how creative the entirety of the My Little Pony fandom was, to the point where people made music videos and shorts and these fanfics that kind of blew up and had this identity of their own. And I remember being so in awe of all of it, and it really kind of pushed me to continue on my journey. The main thing that inspired me to pursue animation in the first place was Lilo and Stitch, and I used to love all the old Disney movies and all that fun stuff, and I really fell in love with the medium. And then I grew up, and I think I started watching My Little Pony, the Friendship is Magic version, when I was maybe 7 or 8, and I was the target audience, so I can speak from experience. I feel like the reason it was such a unique show was because it really reached a lot of different people, and people of all ages, which is kind of controversial. And hold on, what are you guys up to? What are you guys up to? What are you guys up to? My budgies are just playing at the moment, so if you hear them in the background, please don't mind. Again, I'm just gonna make this and upload this tomorrow probably, and yeah, hopefully it works out. And I don't know how many more of these I'm gonna make, but I had fun, so as long as I have fun, I'm gonna keep making these. And you're gonna see the next one as well, which is creating a tarot deck, and that's like one of the biggest things that I've always wanted to do. But back to the topic of, I always loved the show, and there were so many people, older people, who fell in love with it, which is why it was looked at it in such a negative light of like, oh my god, you're so weird, you like cartoons, and nobody says anything. And you could talk about how this cartoon was specifically aimed at little girls and preteens, and like honestly technically little girls who, and when older men were into it, some of them completely 150% but a lot of them just genuinely liked the cartoon and it was good, and people just really looked at it in a negative light. When I grew up in this fandom in a number of ways, and there were a lot of negatives. I'm not saying there weren't. I'm saying there were a lot of negatives, but there was an overwhelmingly positive atmosphere and community that I'm still connected to today in a number of ways. I still work on some audio dramas from time to time. I still do commissions. Like, I had my first commissions with Deviant Art Points in the My Little Pony community. They taught me so much in so many different ways. I don't know how else to describe it. And I think having a show like that and having it grow with you was one of the bigger things that was so cool about it. And that's why I loved it so much. I think as I grew older, because when it came out, I was 7 or 8, so like 2010, 11, it came out. I was 8, 7 or 8, around that age. And as I grew up, so did the show, because it started to notice that its fan base obviously was older people, and it actually became a cartoon that was for everyone. And I don't think a lot of people acknowledge how much My Little Pony, the Friendship is Magic series specifically, contributed to actually making cartoons that dive deeper into a lot of different aspects and things. Just like, Avatar was one of the most like brilliant cartoons ever. And I feel like nobody talks about My Little Pony because it wasn't necessarily geared towards the people who, are innovate. And I don't want to talk about that because it feels like a very bleak thing. I want to focus on the positive in this video. And okay, you guys were sleeping for 3 hours. What are you doing? Okay, so in addition to that, for me personally, this entire fandom kind of contributed to a lot of my hobbies that I have now. So I still have my doll collection from Monster High, but also my MLP collection because I loved collecting them. I still have a lot of the art that I did from them. I learned how to video edit to make edits for My Little Pony, and I don't know how I failed to acknowledge it so far, because I was just thinking about it today, because I learned how to do a lot of this stuff when I was maybe like 7 or 8, and I was like, why did I learn to do that? And I was like, oh yeah, it was because I really loved the show. Now, you're probably seeing my redesigns at the moment, and it's really a modern-ish take, and I wanted to give a little kind of comic-y, flat-colored version as well, because that's the style that I do usually. I just kind of got carried away with the half-bodies, but I essentially wanted to kind of capture a lot of the character that all the characters have, of course, but I wanted to give it more personality. I wanted it to be versatile, so I had a lot of fun, doing Rainbow Dash's hair. I always have, every single time I've drawn her. And same with Twilight. These two are my favorite characters, and I remember shipping them so much. I don't know how to explain. The Brony fandom taught me so much because it gave me the inspiration to write and create and kind of keep moving forward with my dream. So thank you, Lauren Faust, and every single person who worked on it. And in terms of these designs, it's literally just something that I found easy to draw. And for Rainbow Dash, I just wanted something that wasn't, a super short haircut. I wanted a super short haircut for her, but I didn't want something that was, done before. And I saw this creator who has, by the way, been helping me intensely with like my posture and stuff. I do her routine, and she has these like 2 rat tails and this short head of hair, and I kind of took inspiration from that. For Twilight, I was kind of just looking through my own older clothes and being like, I don't know, I feel like she'd just be really cool. And I've been reading Harry Potter to my budgies, so you can probably see the inspiration there. That's essentially it. I hope you enjoyed this, because this is just me rambling and talking about My Little Pony. And I intended to make something like this, which was much more structured like 2 years ago, but I never got around to it. So this is just a fun way of me kind of rambling on and talking to you and sharing art. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you like the designs. And I really hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much for being here. Subscribe and do all that stuff. Comment. Engage with the video. I'm hypnotizing you to engage with it. But yeah, I hope you stick around. Thank you so much for being here. And yeah, maybe there's gonna be another one. Who knows?